Let's see.
So let's say STD.
What? Standard.
Oh. No, it's sexually transmitted disease.
No, that is where is? Not yet, at least.
Are you gonna have that one running too?
Yeah.
Why?
Insurance. At least for audio. Okay, for the most part, I would make eye contact with, like, let's see. No, not that. Actually, make eye contact with me, but not the camera.
Why?
Just because, I don't know. I guess you can look at the camera every once in a while. Let's see. Okay. So, question number 1. How did you get involved in the project?
Basically, Erik contacted me one day because we had met because we both auditioned for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. And he messaged me on Facebook a couple weeks after the auditions asking me if I would like to be the main protagonist in his film.
Okay, good. What's the project about?
The project is basically a mockery slash culmination of all the cliches from that plague most action movies. It's supposed to be a fun, lighthearted film that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Okay. See, what seems like the biggest part of the project so far?
The biggest part is definitely trying to find the time to film the parts because since we're both pretty busy people and everybody else involved is pretty busy as well because I'm also in a band outside of school along with school itself, so it's just trying to find the right time to film.
So far, what's been the most fun thing about the project?
I enjoy acting and I find the script to be very clever and amusing, and it's just fun to be able to portray that overly macho, egotistical character. It's just a fun thing for me to do because I haven't had the opportunity to play a part like that before, so.
Okay. Let's see. What's your favorite bit about playing your part so far?
Just the fact that I get to act too serious and be that, because I basically get to be an action hero, which is what every guy wants to do ever since he's seen his first action movie, and I get to be that. So that's pretty cool. I get to get the girl, get to save the day. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
Alright. That's good. Let's see, what did you expect? And is it quite what you expected? And if not, how so?
What was I expecting? Honestly, I didn't know what I was expecting because I'd never been a part of something like this before. I mean, I've done like little films on the side, but I've never been like in a full-length feature such as this. So I guess the thing I was prepared for, I kind of had an idea that it would take up a lot of time, but maybe not quite as much time as I realized. And it's just the struggle of trying to find the right times to do the right scenes and stuff like that.
Okay. What do you think it'll be like when it's done?
If all of Erik's ideas and come together, hopefully it should be a pretty good film, good for a few laughs, and I'll be proud to show some of my friends. Just be like, hey, it's me.
Okay.
Good reason for them to laugh at me, I guess.
All right. Let's talk about during filming. What's the funniest thing that's happened so far during filming?
Oh, there's been a few. So one of the first things we ever filmed was I was at the outside of Dr. Fector's evil lair, and the audio was atrocious that day because at the time they were cutting down some trees over by where we were filming. So just the fact that each time I had to have a great take, memorizing my lines and everything, all of a sudden you just hear a brrrr, and just seeing Erik's face is like completely just, are you kidding me? And that's a pretty accurate depiction of what his expression was, and just made me laugh. So I guess that would be the best one so far.
Do you have any other stories about shooting?
Oh yeah, there was one where it was during the rubble scene, and I was just laying down there, and it just sucked because you're laying on top of whole rocks. You act like you're playing dead, so you have to kind of hold in your breathing, but holding your breathing makes it even more uncomfortable because your body naturally gets tensed up, and just seeing Erik come down because he plays one of the characters in the film. He has to come down and be like, "Hey, are you okay?" And he fell the first time that happened, almost twisted his ankle. That was a pretty good time, and I just remember between takes I'd throw rocks at people and act like I was dead, and they'd get mad at me, but they couldn't throw anything back at me because I would ruin the scene, so I just got to mess with people.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the rubble scene. What was it like having to do 2 almost kiss scenes for the film?
It's kind of like less something to be desired, you know, a little awkward because you have to lead into it, and then you have to wait for the other actor to come interrupt it, or otherwise you just want to keep going and going, and then, I don't know. It almost been like it would have been less awkward by everyone if we just kissed, seriously, but it was whatever. Not the worst. That's not the most awkward thing I've had to do. So.
Yeah, fantastic audio. The sync is running. Okay. Let's see. How was putting the cut on your forehead?
I was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be one of those things where basically, like, before we start filming, it'd be a quick, okay, got to move your head, I'm going to stick this thing on there, you know, color it in. But had no idea I would have to wear it overnight, and the smell itself is just terrible. I wasn't prepared for that. Erik even told me it was going to smell terrible, but I mean, it's one thing, like, describing it, it's nothing experiencing it. And I could try to describe it right now, but it wouldn't do it justice, so maybe all of you guys have to just take a whiff of it someday to know what I'm talking about. But that was pretty bad.
Okay. During the grenade launcher scene, you have to do a lot of pretending, acting with objects that aren't actually there. What's that like?
I guess it's kind of tough at first, but then it becomes easier because then you get to overdo it, because knowing that you get to punch something with all your force but not have to worry about actually punching anything, like, you know, hurting something or hurting your fist, or just you get to let it all out more easily. But then it's awkward for your timing because you don't know how fast it is traveling towards you, and you have to imagine this thing coming at you, this huge grenade launcher. I mean, it's a pretty intimidating object, so I have to be like, whoa, but at the same time I'm an action hero, so I gotta be like, whatever, you know, I got this.
Okay. What do you... Let's see. On a similar note, during a lot of the movie, you're talking to the character Ned over the phone. His scenes and dialogue were filmed at a different time, and yet it's supposed to seem like a continuous conversation. What are some of the challenges with pretending to talk on the phone with someone?
The biggest one is timing, knowing how long a pause between lines. That's the biggest one, and that's kind of up to Erik, because during film, he'd give me a cue, like, okay, he's done with his line, now go for it. And just thinking in my head that this guy's talking to me, trying to give me these live updates of what I'm facing and stuff like that. So at first it was really hard because I would always say my lines way too fast, because it's easier having somebody there to talk to, because then you got the timing down, because that person can finish their thought, then you respond, so it's more natural. But just having to, like, wait yourself, it's almost like you're talking to a voice in your head, which is true, I guess, but it's still kind of different.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Okay. This one's very narcissistic. Obviously, the director puts a lot of time and energy and determination into the film on a regular basis. What would you say, not about him as a person, but about him as a director? I know he's a good friend of yours, so don't feel like obligated to sugarcoat it.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Because the way he made it sound like, I thought I'd be like kind of control sergeant, like do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. But obviously he had the ideas in his head and the direction he wanted to do, and I'd retake a couple scenes, try to get more in his vision. For the most part, he just kind of let it float off, like how I would deliver my lines and how I would act out a scene, and he would just go with it. So that was pretty cool. Sometimes it's hard to talk to him because he reverts to his very, like, 1-2 sentences, like, that'll work, or let's try this, and those are, like, the main communication you'll get out of him. But overall, I got the idea of what he wanted, because we had similar visions in our head of what the character was going to be like. So I mean, some parts where some film shoots were rougher than others, especially when there was outside noises involved. That's when he really got frustrated. But overall, I would say a lot better than I thought. He's a good director.
Thanks for that. See, what do you enjoy about working with the other actors so far?
As much fun as it is acting by yourself, it's just a lot more fun having somebody to act with, because then you get to, like, you know, bounce off each other ideas. You get to see the other person's expression. It's just a lot easier as an actor to respond to another actor versus just doing it by yourself. So each time I got to act with somebody else, it was always a good time. I'm so looking forward to filming with Dr. Factor because I feel like that's going to be a blast.
Okay. Is that good? Oh, what's one of the most challenging things about working on this film? Actually, hang on.
Most challenging.
Right, actually, give it a minute.
Can I check my phone?
Sure.
You should put up your sign, dude.
How long does it take you to wash your hands? For the love of Jesus Christ! Lo siento.
So she claims that she didn't... Oh, you're still filming, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm following.
Yeah.
I good idea to talk about it.
Yeah. Rule.
I'll tear off his partridge and kick him in the pear tree.
Are you shaving? Are you trying to shower under the faucet? What is going on?
Is that Dalton or your other dude?
I think it's the other dude.
That's the other dude.
Dalton doesn't slam things around.
I love that. I will tear off his partridge and kick him in the pear tree.
I will rip off his partridge and kick him in the pear tree. Yeah. Alright, so what's one of the most challenging things about working on the film?
One of the most challenging things is, like I said before, just finding the time to go and do it. Because every now and then I have like a block of like 1 or 2 hours, but then we realize that's not quite enough time, and just knowing that like we can't knock out a whole scene in one setting, because it's always a drag going back to the same scene over multiple days versus just having enough time to just knock out that scene in one day, which is like the most convenient thing to do, but doesn't always work out that way. So just having to get in the same mindset and deliver the same scenes over and over again, day after day, that's the toughest.
Okay. Anything you'd like to say to close? Any personal thoughts, feelings, comments, confessions?
Any closing thoughts? I guess I'm just glad I got to experience this opportunity, and like I said, ever been a part of this film thing, and hopefully if everything turns out okay, it'll be something I look forward to doing again. So.
Shall be epic. Alright, well cool. That does it. Thanks.